This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pointy Bakery. If you're located in the Pointy area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pointy Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone can podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, before we jump into Buzz Lightyear, I just want to give a shout out to Monster Energy because I've created an unhealthy addiction. Well, no, not really. Well, I guess caffeine is an addiction, but like we're doing this podcast after jiu-jitsu and I'm like, wow, I'm really tired, but I need like the energy boost. And I've like recently, this past week, I guess, I've had bad like sleeping habits, and I've like noticed that I like it more than Red Bull. I think it's because there's more like B12 vitamins in it, or there's something. Like Red Bull always has like you're like awake but tired. But when I do like Monster, it's like awake and energized. But I think it's like a B12 thing. But yeah, I just want to give because like, you know, it's totally not good for you, but sometimes you need the crutch. But it really got me thinking about paper straws. Because as you can see, I have a plastic straw in the Red Bull, in the Monster. That's because I don't want it to hit my teeth because I don't want cavities. But I was like, when we were watching Buzz Lightyear, I still remember you're like, oh, don't forget the straw. And I was like, I took 3. And you're like, oh, why are you taking 3? I'm like, paper straws. And it's like, I actually switched them in the middle of the movie because it started to get soggy. I don't know. Really, I don't understand why like we shifted to paper straws. Well, I get it. The optics, you know. You're going to say something?
Yeah, there's a funny thing with that, though.
Okay, yeah.
Like, sure, we did the paper straws. But you know what's still plastic?
What?
The lid.
Oh, true. That's
Everyone
true.
still gets the lid.
Oh, that's true. But you know what it is, though?
They should have made that paper and then kept the straws plastic. At least.
But you know why they did the plastic straw? It's because they saw a turtle with a straw up its nose. So it's like that became the bad optics of it. So they had to shift to like paper. Like that was the whole like marketing movement towards it, you know. But you're right. Like the whole thing isn't plastic.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Momoa is doing like a aluminum thing right now.
Yeah, but those are just.
Yeah.
I get
It's
it.
gimmicky, right? Like
it's not that it's gimmicky. It's just it's also not convenient. Like it's aluminum. You just gotta wash them.
Or no, like you can like crush it, or like almost like the Monster can. Like he has like water now that he sells that's in an aluminum can instead of plastic. He's like on this whole like.
But then they're all
thing.
wouldn't then. Okay, I understand. Yeah, but then
I guess it's better for recycling. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose I don't actually. Maybe I don't really know. I'm not like
maybe. I mean, I don't know. There's like so many things on TikTok too. I just like came across where they're like recycling. The way they're doing it is not actually like a good thing. Like
efficient.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
So there's like other.
Yeah.
Like that was just a very very preliminary thing. I didn't really look into it. It was just like something that people were discussing that were like. Even the recycling system isn't even good.
Because you can't actually recycle something as well if there's like food particles in it too.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I didn't know that as well. I thought like if it's like plastic or you know.
Oh, and it was more.
It
was I guess it was more like also like pushing blame on consumers versus going after the like making the regulation changes on the companies building these things.
Yeah, for sure. This is kind of like the whole climate change thing. All right, this is totally not even what I thought we'd talk about, but it's kind of like the climate change thing with everyone biking. they're like, oh, you should bike to work.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, the actual output, remember I calculated that once while I was working at that other company, and like the actual output of North America is very minimal. But like we should actually make regulations over like China and India if you really want to stop climate change. Like we're not actually contributing the bulk
but you can't
of the
though,
load.
right?
No,
So
I
other
know.
countries can't push
but
other
that's
countries.
like half the image. So it's like, why not address the actual problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we petition the other country to do better?
Yeah, well,
Like, if you really
the
want
only
to
way
solve it, you know?
right, the only way to petition them to do better is you would have to offer them the money.
Facts, yeah. Or like, stop buying the products. So then you are voting with your dollars. But I mean, so many things are made in China right now, so you just can't. You can't necessarily do
can't do
that.
that.
It's like, you know, it's like very.
There's only so much limitations of what kind of sanctions you can put on.
Like for sure. And you know, it's kind of like hypocritical as well. So I bought this windbreaker yesterday, and the person was like, oh, are you getting ready to go camping? And I'm like, oh, I just thought it looked nice. Is this a camping brand? And then she was like, no, it's like a hiking brand as well as like a camping brand. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went on their social media prior to purchasing it just to see like if I support the brand, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we do good for the environment, blah, 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 people. I don't want to name the company.
Sure.
But then when I saw it, it's like, this product was made in China. So it's like, but you're supporting climate change, but you're saying you're for the people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we're all about nature and the environment, but it's like, you just manufacture this in one of the top climate change polluting countries ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's if your whole supply chain isn't green, then it's kind of like hypocritical.
Right. Are they like a local brand? Like,
No, they're an international brand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you become an international brand,
You need to scale up, right?
You're gonna need to use China. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. I've become really, like Kendrick Lamar said it, and it kind of empowered me to continue saying it. Which
I think. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I think there should be more, like, what do you call it? Branding in a sense that is more focused on like being outside or something.
Yeah, something like nature-y, you know, something like that, but not denouncing, you know, things like climate change.
But then also, but that's a marketing thing now too, right?
For sure.
It's just that's just to say that look, we're doing something about climate change, or we're acknowledging climate change.
So there's a lot of movements right now that are like all about like it's like shining a light on what's called greenwashing. So it's like you present yourself as a green company, but you actually aren't a green company. So that's the whole idea of like greenwashing. It's like we're gonna market ourselves as a nature loving brand, but in reality, it's like our supply chain isn't. So it's like, how can you actually say that?
It's just a marketing thing now, right? It's just a way to make people believe it, and they'll buy it.
Yeah,
that's all.
Exactly. And then again, go back to Kendrick Lamar. It's like he kept saying that, like, he's been saying it for a long time, but like we're hypocrites by nature, like human beings. And then I've just been really like, that's the best word to put towards it.
I guess so in a way, but I think it's just like, that's just business, right? It's like, how do we get people to keep buying our products?
For sure. But
because now like everyone is talking about climate change, so we have to do that in order to convince them to buy our product.
For sure. I 100% agree with you. And it's like, there are certain companies that like they'll promote, like you see it during this time of year, like Pride Month, and then they'll like switch their display pictures towards, like the rainbow colors. But then their hiring practices aren't actually supportive of that. They're their HR practices are not actually supportive of that. It's just like, why are you?
It's all the marketing thing. It's all the
but
to make ourselves look good, though.
Yeah, for sure. But can we call it just business? You know what I mean? But like, no, you can. But like, at the end of the day, a business is a conglomerate of people, right? Doing a thing, right? That's what a business is. It's just like we're all working together. So at the core, the human being is a hypocrite. Because it's like, yeah, you work for this company saying these things, but you don't actually do it.
Yeah, it's just you.
Because we just want to sell.
If you don't acknowledge it, then you're not gonna.
But then why even acknowledge it at all? You know what I mean?
No, but like that's what I'm saying. If you don't acknowledge it,
Oh, I see. Then you look bad
you look
brand
bad.
wise. It's weird. It's a weird time.
Yeah.
That's weird, right? It's like, do we really need to do it? Like, actually, this is
Well,
weird
that's the thing. I think because other people are doing it now, it's like you would be the out crowd if you didn't do it.
Yeah, and then it's like the halo horn effect.
Yeah.
You know, like, so if somebody is doing it, and then if you don't do it, you automatically look way worse just because
Right.
you're not doing it.
Right. So that's what there's like. There's certain companies that don't do it. Right.
Right.
Like probably Chipotle. My assumption. Oh, not Chipotle. Sorry. What's that one called?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, true. Exactly. Yeah. They're standing by the brand.
Yeah.
Like they're
staying by their brand. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
But you got to have that courage to do
for
that.
sure, totally. Yeah, but for sure. But does it seem archaic now to you?
Archaic? And
Like-
what do we mean?
Like that belief system seems almost archaic. Like if we are all human beings just expressing ourselves to the fullest capacity we can, then doesn't it seem archaic to have certain doctrines that like don't allow for that? Like Christianity, right? Because that's what Chick-fil-A is.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems archaic now. It's like, well, why don't you just accept them? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we really need all the smoke and mirrors of like disciplining? Not just like smoke and mirrors of like this, but like you can do this, but not this. Like, why do we need a rule set called religion that's going to force us in this way when we're starting to realize that we're all just humans
Mm-hmm.
in 2022? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the place of religion now? That's what I'm saying. It seems archaic.
It seems archaic, but religion is very important to.
For sure, because it creates like a structure.
Yeah, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, religion is still relevant to people today. Doesn't
Yes.
even though like we're saying it's archaic, but it's not to them,
Yes.
right?
Yes. No, totally. But then, I get what you're saying. But then doesn't that just lump them in the category of being archaic themselves?
But we're categorizing them that they're not.
But archaic means you're not keeping up with the times.
Yeah, but again, the times doesn't mean it's a good times,
Okay.
right?
I see what you're
Look,
saying.
all these problems. It's because there's no religion.
But if no, I get what you're saying. So it's like it's
This is how
from
they
their
would view it,
perspective.
I'm saying.
It's from their perspective, right?
Yeah,
It's like, oh, this isn't archaic to us.
Mhm.
That's what you mean,
Mhm.
right? But then how do you do you just blanket statement that paradigm over everything like slavery? So if you believe slavery is not archaic, would you still champion slavery? It's like, but we've abolished slavery.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
See what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
it's like if we are in the pursuit of progress,
Mhm.
would we not delete all the bad stuff and then move forward with the good stuff?
Well, I think it depends on the slave. So, for instance, for slavery, if it was directly said,
That what?
like having,
Like you shouldn't have slaves?
or like saying something specific, but if, like, I would say, like, if there's something directly from God saying not to do this, that's
Okay.
God saying not to do this. There was nothing. I don't know if there was anything like that specific about slaves. That's more. Is that a cultural thing?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So because they place the emphasis on God,
Mm-hmm.
then they're giving up authority, like human authority.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, God said it, not
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you delete the idea of God and religion, then it seems archaic,
Oh, of course.
right?
Yes.
And like, it seems like
And it's not like all religion
anti-progress.
believe these things, right? So there's different types of religions around the world, right?
Right. Totally. Yeah. But I mean, Christianity is the one that like conquered Abrahamic religions conquered everything.
Yeah,
so-
that was part of their core belief, right? Which is
Yeah,
to spread the word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's becoming the number one religion, right?
Because they're the only ones at their core that
What's the Abrahamic religion? Those are the two, that and Islam.
Islam is Abrahamic.
Yeah, that's right. Those are the two. Would Jewish be?
Abrahamic as well.
Yeah, but they're not.
What, conquer?
Yeah, they're not converting people.
Oh, true. Yeah, because it wasn't in
Yeah.
that beginning. Actually, like having read the Bible, you're right. They were the only ones that didn't say that you should conquer people.
Yeah.
They were
It's
actually
it's like they were chosen people. That was the
yeah. They were slaves themselves, and then they escaped Roman oppression because they were the chosen people.
yeah.
And then, well, actually, all right. So they were the what is it? Is he who wrestles with God. That is their name. What was it before Jews? Because like the word Jew came at the end of the Old Testament.
Okay, I see.
They renamed themselves.
Okay.
But I forgot what the Semites or
Maybe, yeah. I heard that word before.
yeah, because anti-Semite is you're not us,
Okay.
or you're anti-us, or you don't like Jewish people, something. Semites, us.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
forgot what the word was,
Okay.
but I know what the translation was. Like, because it was actually in the Bible. They said it. Like, the whatever their name was before calling themselves Jewish. That meant he who wrestles with God. So those people wrestled with God because they had to struggle.
Right.
It went back to the time of Egypt because like that's when Moses, right? He let my people go, that thing. And then after he got these people let go, they went on the quest to find the Holy Land, and then he could never find it. And then for some reason he had this vision to go back to Egypt and conquer it.
Okay.
So they went back to Egypt to conquer it. And then at the end of all their stuff, they renamed themselves Jews.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from there, that's when Jesus was a Jew.
Yeah.
And then the Jews were being oppressed by the Romans. And then Jesus said, rule by the sword. Like, his, because Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yeah.
So it's the same story 3 times. Oh, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John 4 times. It's the same story 4 times.
Yeah.
Just from 4 different perspectives.
Yeah.
So each time, it gets progressively more and more hostile. Like Jesus' depiction gets more and more hostile. So the whole like love thy neighbor Sermon on the Mount, that was Matthew. It was the peaceful Jesus version. And then when they said like you have to like spread the word of God.
It's very interesting. I wonder.
It's interesting, right? Yeah.
Because it's like if 4 people were
seeing the same thing,
seeing the same event, but they got 4 different perspectives.
Yeah.
Because that happens all the time now, right?
Totally. Nobody realized this though. When you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I'm like, oh, it's the same. It's literally the same story told 4 different ways, but like progressively, like more aggressive.
Okay.
Like by John, and it's weird because like Matthew was like the most peaceful one. That version of Jesus was all loving, right? And then Mark, it got a little bit more aggressive, but not too bad. Luke became even more, and then John was like straight up convert everyone,
Okay.
So when people say like they pick and choose from the Bible, it's like, yeah, which version of Jesus are you following?
Right.
But they'll pick and choose like lessons from Jesus according to whichever perspective they want at the time.
Fits their
Yeah. And I know this because I went to church like every Sunday until I was like 25. Literally. And I thought these were like, I was like, dude, how do you have so much material to cover and with all these lessons? And then when you read it yourself, you're like, oh, the priest is picking stories he wants, like little excerpts to teach us something.
right.
But it's like he can choose a good version of Jesus or like a hostile one, depending on what the lesson is for that week.
Okay.
But right there, you see the bias, right? You're like, okay, well, we're already talking about perspectives of 4 different people. So who's the correct perspective? And then you have it filtered by a priest who like interprets that lesson and then shares it with us.
I feel like generally that would be like as an individual who would read that. It's just whichever one that
resonates with
that person.
So maybe it says more about you as a person
Yeah,
than
I
it
feel
does
like
about
yeah.
like Jesus as a
Yeah.
teacher. Isn't that weird to like think about? Yeah. Okay, and to finish that story, then Jesus dies. Then Gabriel, who went to Mary to let her know that she'd be pregnant, he appears to Muhammad in the cave.
Gabriel, yeah.
Gabriel appears. Yeah, but Gabriel also told Mary that she would be pregnant with Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, he
Yeah.
told. Okay.
Yeah. So like that's what he like comes.
Yeah.
He's,
All these
there
are
a
like
lot.
like
No, 'cause
similar
it's all the same
stories. It's
story.
like
No, it is the same story.
yeah, it's like
like
no, I'm saying like even Krishna's story. It's like
oh, similar to this. Like a messenger tells. the
yeah,
person,
yeah. It's like Krishna as a Jesus story is just way too close, in my opinion.
Right.
In
Yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion, yeah. That's why people
Dude, I
Chris
actually,
and Christ. It's like
I literally bought this book. And so it's sitting over there. It's Parallel Religions. I think that's what it's called. It's upside down, so I can't really read it, and it's far. But it's called Parallel Religions. I got to read that like later. But it takes all these stories and then it shows you the parallels between all of them. So I'm pretty excited about that. But it's like you're right. It seems like we're regurgitating the same lessons as before. Like when I read the story of the
it's
ancient,
like it's like in movies. There's like only so many ways you can tell a story. Like that's like you have to hit these points to make it a good story.
oh, and that's Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey.
Yeah. So it's like
He said every story that you like follows the same path.
yeah. So it's like that's what we're doing here. Even religion is doing that same thing.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the only way that they become these godly figures.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Or else it would just be like an ordinary story of like someone quitting or whatever. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
The craziest one is Noah. I remember when I first read this. I was in Greece and I bought these like stack of fairy tales, like Greek fairy tales. It's funny they call them fairy tales now, but like back then it was religions, right? Like they believed in you know Apollo and stuff, Zeus.
Or myths, they call them myths now, right?
Myths now, yeah. So I was reading it, and there's a story of Dionysus. I think it's Diogenes.
Oh, Dad.
Diogenes, not Diogenes.
Diogenes is
the philosopher.
The philosopher.
Right. I think it's Dionysus. I'm bad with names, but when I was reading it, so they said you have to take 2 of every animal. Zeus like appeared to him.
Oh, yeah,
you have to take
yeah,
2 of every animal. You have to build an ark. And I was like, wait a minute, this is Noah's story, which is crazy. I'm like, but nobody said that they're the same.
Yeah. Well, think about this too. But it's like even though like Christianity came, they were converting the Romans and stuff.
Yeah.
But there were still some rituals that the Romans did that they kept on, like Christmas or
yes,
these are not Christian.
The
things.
tour guide was telling us that in Rome.
They're Roman things.
Yeah, 'cause did I tell you that in Rome the regular Romans hate Christians? They actually don't like them. Like the majority of them, right? Because the tour guides were just like crapping on the.
Because I think it makes sense because you're getting a bunch of tourists just coming here to see. Only the Vatican.
They were very mad at the Vatican, and then they were telling us like all of the same things, like this was stolen by the Vatican, like this story was stolen by the Vatican, and like I remember when he said that Constantine, the guy who made the Bible, he was on his deathbed, and he converted to Christianity just in case that like he would. Yeah, like if he was going to die, like, real. If this really is God, I'm just going to hedge my bets and then say I'm Christian now. So he converted to Christianity on his deathbed. Crazy, right? Yeah. It's weird. Like when you look into history, you just see like humans are hypocritical. You know, we like do all these things that we think are right and then later are proved to be wrong. So it's like, what does right really mean?
Yeah.
You know? Like perfection is like an asymptote, you know, like in mathematics, you can like approach the line, but you'll never reach it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, okay, so this is a great segue into Buzz Lightyear, because it really got me thinking when you said this. Like, I was like, oh, why are they hammering home so okay, there's a huge controversy in Buzz Lightyear about like a same-sex kiss.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't show the movie in like Saudi Arabia or something, like
the Middle Eastern. I would say Middle Eastern countries. I don't know all the countries, but what they listed were like
countries,
Middle Eastern countries.
Okay. Well, because it's prevalent there, right? Like
I forgot the number of countries it was.
I think it was like 196. I think I saw something like that.
196 countries.
Yeah, something like that.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a lot of countries out there apparently.
Yeah, probably.
A bunch of like mini countries that we don't even. I think it was 196. Fact check that. You go Google it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how.
I think I saw it on IGN.
Oh, yeah, on IGN. Okay.
Yeah. How many? Well, while you're looking for that,
Oh, it says banned by 14 countries.
14. What's 196? Oh, the Elon Musk, the signing of the petition.
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
That's a different.
yeah, not very good with numbers. But
Yeah,
so-
UAE, Saudi Arabia, but they're not listing other countries.
okay, so 14 countries. All right, so these 14
Yeah,
countries.
it seemed like it was high. That 106 number seemed high.
Yeah,
to
I was
me.
like, oh, well, I remember seeing those two numbers. So like, but that was another one of the topics we'll get into later about Elon Musk petition. But so with the banning, we were like, what is this same-sex kiss going to be like, right? And then it happened, right? It was very quick.
It was very quick.
Yeah, but
I was like, that was it?
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it was more like a peck. It wasn't really a kiss.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She just came home. But so what really got me in the movie was when I was kind of like, why are you hammering home this same-sex relationship? Like not in the terms of like what they were depicting. It was the look on Buzz Lightyear's face as he was watching this happen, right? And I was like, why do they keep panning to his face? But then you said something on our walk home. You're like, if it was a straight couple, he would have made the same emotion. And I was like, you're right. It's just weird for me to like jump to that, jump to that position, I guess. So like, yeah, so I want to point that out that one, it wasn't even that bad, but two, it seems like they're really trying to make like alternative lifestyles more normal now. But it's interesting that I caught it myself that I was like, oh, why are they like making this scene extra by the emotion on Buzz's face, you know? But you're right that it's like if they were straight, you would have seen the same emotion.
Yeah.
But I caught myself being like, why are they hammering? But it's like, oh no, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you call that? It's like unconscious biases. I thought it was weird.
Right.
But if it was like a traditional
Couple.
family, it wouldn't have been weird at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Buzz Lightyear, let's get into it. I like the premise that they had, which is like Andy got his favorite toy for Christmas or whatever, or his birthday, because of his favorite movie.
Yeah.
And this was that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. So now we're going to see what it was like. And I felt like they were trying to make it super action packed. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is why you liked it. Like
generally they're also probably thinking like what would make a kid like. I mean, this is a kid's movie, but it's also like what would make someone like a Andy or a kid like fall in love with the movie. Yeah. Like
Right. And I feel like, I don't know if I was like duped by it, but they were doing like a lot of like Top Gun style stuff and like Halo. It reminded me of like Top Gun meets Halo, right? And I was like, I think this is a good movie, but you were falling asleep at some points.
I think I was also like, maybe there's too much.
Too much awesome.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
But that's why I feel like I felt duped because I was like, this is an amazing movie, but I was also falling asleep at some points. But looking back at it, I'm like, what can you say that was bad about the movie? Because they made it so good.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. It's like they just put too much in there. That it was like jarring, I guess. Like,
yeah. There were cool parts I did like, but I don't know. I was also tired as well. Okay, yeah. So I'll add that on there. But
it felt like a good movie.
I felt like it was a good movie. Yeah.
But like,
I think it was also like in the beginning, I was like, I wasn't sure where I kind of knew what was going on because I watched the behind the scenes thing.
Okay, yeah.
So I was just waiting for where is the story going to start.
Okay, yes, same.
Because there was so many things happening in the beginning going by like so quickly. It's like, okay, we know this is not part of the story. Like this is...
Right. This is like a lead up to the story.
There's a lead up to something, but it took so long to get there
For sure.
but it was going pretty quickly because they had to go through so many different things.
Right.
And then once the story started, then it was like it slowed down the pace a bit, get to know the characters a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then and then try to get back into the fast pacedness of it.
Yeah. Did you feel, maybe this was just my own bias, but I was like waiting. I thought what they were going to do is he was going to hit light speed and then he'll go into Andy's world. Because they never explained why, like, the toys were talking in Toy Story.
Oh, that.
So I thought he was gonna like hyperspeed, like he was gonna jump into a world, and he's like, "Oh, I'm now Andy's toy."
Oh, okay.
So I kept waiting for that, and then I was like, "Oh, it didn't happen. Oh, this really was just a movie."
It was just a movie.
It was a
Yeah.
standalone movie.
So that's what from the beginning of the scenes. That's what it is. So like.
Oh, okay.
They're,
So that's why you knew.
Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be a lead into Toy Story.
No.
Okay.
This is just a movie for Buzz Lightyear.
Like it is literally
The main
movie that got Andy excited.
Yeah, the movie that made. So it's kind of backwards. It's like, this is the movie. The Lightyear is the movie that then they made the toys for.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So I didn't like. I knew because they said that in the
They said in the beginning they were trying to tell you.
But I was like, but how much of that is true? I really thought there was gonna be a bait and switch, and they're gonna like make him enter.
They could have, but I mean, but the thing is like very interesting. Like with animation, because they went through so many different types of storyboards. Like okay, let's try how this like part of the story. How would this go? They would have multiple ways of doing it, and then pick one that makes more sense.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they go through multiple iterations
because they don't have to. They don't have to like film it.
No, and they don't even have to even do the animation part yet. It's just still like all part of the storyboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, there are benefits to animated movies, but I feel like also I didn't like many animated movies, but I stayed like my attention was there for this one. You know, so that's why I was like confused. I'm like, is this a good movie or not? I don't really know because they had a lot of cool scenes.
Yeah.
But when I turned to you, I was like, "Oh, this movie's amazing." You're like, "Oh, it's not that good," and I was like, "Ooh, okay, wait, hold on, is it not that good?" I was like questioning myself.
Like it's there's elements of it that I know that will work for kids, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's elements of it that are like is okay for adults, is good for adults here and there. Right. But like I think overall, it wasn't all for me. Like it wasn't.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like it's more directed towards kids. I feel like, right? But that isn't what an animated movie is.
Yeah,
so.
true. Yeah.
That is their main.
And then they add like the deeper lesson for the adult.
But that's why I like the lesson part. But the lesson doesn't come till the end.
Right. Yeah. Spoiler alert: you find out that Buzz is from like the bad guy's actually Buzz from a different time, and he's trying to correct his timeline, and that's why he's like trying to collect everything. But I said that because the real lesson in this is like about acceptance and what was the word? It's like you can either accept things or regret. It's about acceptance or regret. This movie is all about acceptance and regret, like the main lesson. And I'm like, who do you side with? Do you side with the Buzz that's trying to correct time? Or are you trying to, like, in the end, you end up siding with the Buzz that is keeping time. Like, acceptance is more important, right? But when they went with the acceptance Buzz, where he's like, okay, even though I want to get back to our home world, this is our world now. Right? He accepted his place. And he's like, or else we wouldn't have the people we have around us. You're right. But at the same time, it's like you had a duty and an obligation to the people that you first launched into space. So I'm almost on the side of the regret Buzz.
But again, I understand what you're saying. But it's like, their experiences were different. They didn't experience the same thing.
No, for sure. Sure. But
no, I understand. Like, it makes sense. Like I think a villain should make sense.
Like Thanos.
Like
it's like, we are over.
Like I understand why this Buzz is, or the future Buzz is wanting to change the whole thing.
Yes.
Revert
yeah.
back to that, right? He comes from a side that makes sense.
Yeah. It's very logical. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but you had a duty of care to the people that you were sending back home.
Mm-hmm.
So like when he's like, oh, we would lose the people that we have now, it's like, well, you're also robbing those people of seeing their families again.
Yeah.
You know? So I was kind of like, I don't know, because they went with the acceptance buzz, the one that stayed where he is. But I was like,
I guess
was
it
that
would
the
have.
right
I guess
move?
it should have come down to like a vote.
It's right. Yeah. It's like, how many people want to go back? How many people don't?
Like now that
Okay.
you have the ability to do hyper jump or whatever,
Yeah.
it should just
Or
come
time
jump
changing,
or something. Yeah. So it's like that. Now it's up to
The people.
the people
Yeah,
to
not
vote
up
if
to,
they
like,
want to
Yeah, for
go
sure.
back or not.
Because they're also on a planet that was trying to kill them.
Yeah.
So it's like, really? You want to stay here? I don't know. Like, who did you feel like had more weight in their argument?
I think it's just because he made the connection with the daughter.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so
so-
you're being selfish right now.
Yeah, and we all do selfish things.
Oh, so you're agreeing with the acceptance buzz?
No. I'm not saying I agree with anyone.
Oh, okay.
Because both have their perspectives.
Who would you be in that situation? Like, if it was up to you with that choice. Like, if you had to jump into a buzz's
That's what I'm
body.
saying. Like, if again, I'm adding things like voting, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. True. You're more of like the diplomatic buzz. It's like, okay, should we go back? 'Cause I mean,
So that's what I'm saying. Is like, but there was no diplomatic buzz,
Right.
It's just one of the two.
but you know what's weird? This is all from a Western lens. Like even watching this movie and then having like no definitive winner, because like we see the side of the villain, right? In Asian media, they always have a clear winner and loser.
You're right.
They're right and wrong path,
Yeah,
right? And they don't want you to, because media shapes culture, right? But if you have these heroes that are like confusing, even though it's great entertainment, then the audience members also confused, like us, who are like, maybe we should be the villain, and then it's like you're confusing a whole generation. Like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
And then they went with the acceptance buzz,
It's
and it's like,
easier
okay, so that's what?
it's easier to understand a story when there's a clear villain, right? Black and white kind of thing.
But I'm saying, like, from a cultural programming perspective, it's like, just tell us how we should behave as human beings, good or bad. But
Well,
it's
I
like,
guess
it's up to you. It's like, oh man.
Well, they're not saying up to you, right? They chose.
Yeah, they did choose, but the fact that they left a hole in what I'm saying is, like, in Eastern media, there is no hole. There's no like.
Yeah.
They're just straight villainous. You're like, yep, you're a villain.
Yeah.
But in Western media, even though it's great for entertainment, because you're like, ooh, which side do I want to go on? It creates that confusion as an audience member to be like, how should I be programmed? Because these are kids, right? You're like little kids, are watching this, and then they're growing into the next generation, and kids are very susceptible, right? So it's like you're playing. You know what I mean? I feel like we as a society don't realize how important media is to children.
Yeah, I don't know if they would understand this villain's perspective. The kids.
Okay, yeah.
I would think they'd more connect with what Buzz did, which is not take them home, which is
Right.
acceptance.
Yeah. Okay, I see your point. But
I
is
feel
that
like
the
that's more
correct
of a,
message
like-
to be sending to children.
Acceptance.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean like if you give it more of a thought experiment.
Yeah, so that's why that's for you leave that to the adults.
No, but for sure, but like, I still think that if it's an unanswered question, then it's gonna create confusion later on. Like if a kid goes back to this or something, or like they build their foundation off of this. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
No,
with
I
Eastern
understand what you're
media,
trying to say.
It's like you're bad. Okay, cool. Do not do this. It's very black and white in Eastern media.
No, I understand that. But I think as kids, it is when you watch this, you're not gonna get that. So it's black and white to you as a kid.
You're right. Yeah.
As an adult, if you rewatch as an adult, you're understanding.
For sure. But my question now is like, is the message you're imparting the correct message to be imparting?
We don't know that.
That's what I'm saying. But with Eastern media, it's very simplistic. It's just good and bad. So it's like, we know.
But things go. Yeah, but I
things.
understand that. I understand that. But I think culturally, these things change over time. Like, in the olden days, movies in Western media, it's the same. It was like black and white, right?
Yeah, true.
Who's good and evil?
Yeah.
We just go through this kind of process. This is where we're at in movie telling or storytelling, where we've got to a point where like, I think we complain that we don't understand why the villain is doing that.
Right.
So we have to add now a reasonable reason for a villain to be a villain.
Right. To make it more intelligible for
the audience.
Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know, we're just playing with fire.
But I think this is just part of the evolution thing, right? It's just how storytelling
goes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fair point. Anything else about Buzz Lightyear? I think that was the primary things I wanted to hit.
Yeah, there's a lot of that they were putting in. That were I remember like what he was doing in the Toy Story movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Especially doing like they were really emphasizing on making the same Buzz, the toy. Like, why would the toy have all these features? He was doing in the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like especially doing the whole talking to himself. That's what he was doing that all the time.
Oh, interesting.
Right, like always, like it was in the first movie, like relaying messages back or something, right?
Oh, very interesting.
So it's like a lot of his actions or the way he was talking. It's like I can see the toy doing that now.
It's sort of like if you watch this as a prequel, then you can watch the ones going forward.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You can see where the toy is getting its inspiration from.
Yeah. So you could put this as the beginning, like before Toy Story.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it when they do that. They like really tie in everything together.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a very caring, creative team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And these are a lot of the people that worked on Lightyear are the same people that worked on Toy Story.
Oh, really? Yeah,
they're still there at the company.
That's cool. I never liked Toy Story though. I never liked Toy Story.
I liked it a lot actually. Like all four of the movies, they always had a lesson at the end, right?
Right.
So that's kind of why I like them.
I wonder if it's a propensity thing. Like I have more of a propensity towards like violent anime, right? Like fighting ninjas, right? Do you remember like Indian in the Cupboard?
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't like that movie either. I was like, this is so complicated. Like, why is this toy coming to life and like all that stuff? And like I get what you're saying, that there was a deeper lesson at the end. I don't know, maybe that says something.
I think that's why I liked it. Maybe I was a bit older, right? So
you could see those.
So I'm watching them at a couple of years older than you guys, so it's like a bit different.
True. Yeah. Okay. And a couple of years makes a big difference when you're kids, you know. Yeah. But I wonder, maybe that just says more about me being more into like violent anime kind of stuff. It's weird because like,
I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up watching like Dragon Ball Z or things like that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Anime came a bit later to me.
Right.
It was more Western cartoons.
But also like even now, my cousins, they're like watching anime, and I was like, oh, you guys watch Dragon Ball Z? They're like, oh no. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you watching? I'm watching like, baseball. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like animation. All these things evolve, right? They go through changes, and
but like, does that say something about the person that you're more drawn towards? Because I thought they would love Dragon Ball Z or like fighting anime. They're like, that's too violent. I'm like, what? That's what anime is, bro.
That's what there's all sorts of animes out now, right?
Now. Yeah.
So the access to anime or the access to what you can watch is vast.
True. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's now becoming. It seems like it's more whatever you are inclined to like. Right. Versus like, there was no other anime other than Dragon Ball.
No, yeah, there wasn't. Actually, that's very true. Yeah, because in Japan, I'm sure there was other anime.
Yeah. There's so many multiple mangas and things like that, right? So it's like, but in North America,
it started with Dragon Ball.
It started with Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. So you have whole generation
All they know
grew
is
up on that.
violence. Yeah, of like
Yeah.
Like
So
that
what did
kind of
that?
anime.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Now that the options are plentiful, Zoro.to, shout out to them. If you want to watch that, you can like watch any kind of anime that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Because you liked Spirited Away.
Yeah.
You liked the one where the dog followed its master. I'm bringing you back. Remember, there's this like anime where like
I can't remember this.
so the owner died, and then it was a story about like the dog going back to the grave to sit by the owner.
I can't remember it. There was one anime I really, really, really liked.
The high school one.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was like a mini series. It was called Earthquake 8.0.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
it was like
I
ghosts,
loved-
right?
Sorry?
They were all ghosts.
No. No, they weren't all ghosts. I loved it a lot. So because an earthquake happened,
Yeah.
and like there was two like sisters got separated.
Uh-huh.
They found each other to find a way to get back home.
But one was a ghost.
But what
Spoiler
was the
alert.
thing was because she was like in the beginning, it was like she was like frazzled trying to find her sister because it was her fault. She's supposed to take care of her,
Oh, crazy.
right?
Yeah.
And then she found her and then went back home. But by the time she got home, it was more like the brain mental thing to keep you alive in order to get you home because you could not at that point you weren't able to handle that you
Interesting.
actually lost. Like she
Yeah.
actually died.
Actually, I remember you telling me about this when we were kids, and it was just not for me. But that's so funny. Like, yeah, you're right. Like now that the access is there, you can find like things that you have more propensity towards.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Because even you describing that, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to watch that.
Yeah, see, like we just talking about it, I remember exactly and the feelings
Yeah.
of it. It was just
I remember you loved it. Yeah.
I
you,
loved
you were
it.
telling me about it. You were like, you should watch this. I was like, because like, no fighting, bro. No, I'm not into it.
no, it's all drama. It's all like such a good story.
Even Spirited
But like
Away.
I do like action ones too. Like I remember you telling me to check out Naruto, but when I was on my search of Naruto, I found Bleach,
Yeah, and I was like, what is Bleach, bro? It's weird.
and I love Bleach.
Yeah. Yeah, you did love Bleach. That was a good anime too. That was a good one. And that was violent as well.
That was violent, but there's like lessons in it too, right? And
as with all anime though.
as with all anime.
But see that's the thing. It's always usually what happens in anime, at least the violent ones that I watch, is like they start off bad, right? You're like, okay, this is a clear evil person. And then the evil person turns good because they see the error of their ways. So they start doing proper actions. Vegeta did that. Bleach,
Yep.
they did that. Naruto, they did that. Like every violent anime.
The
So it's like
redemption.
redemption story, yeah. But they didn't do that with Buzz. That's why I was kind of like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't, that's what I mean about like there's no clear good and evil, you know, because you could see both sides. But if you were like, if the old Buzz was like, you know what, you're right, we should, and then he becomes a good person, I feel like that's a better lesson to tell kids than leave it with ambivalence.
I understand what you're trying to say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can see, usually when you see the good in an evil character, then what the anime does is they make that evil character become good. Like Vegeta, he like saw some humanity in Bulma, then he ended up marrying Bulma, and they had a kid together. It's like, oh, you became a good guy, you know?
Yeah, they did it in Avatar with Zuko.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't
But that's an
count
American
that.
one.
That's not really an anime to me. Like,
It's not an anime, but it is.
it follows the
It was using Asian
principles, like
principles
yeah.
for their animation. Yeah.
which is probably why it was like the best Western
Yeah.
cartoon I've ever seen. Like I put it up there as like very on par with anime, but you don't really call it anime because it was made by Westerners.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
But Buzz Lightyear's
technically.
like again, it's like I'm saying like this is there's lessons here and there, but like
with Buzz or
with the type of story you're trying to tell. Like I understand like now what you're trying to say between
that's what I mean about like
not
good and
having
evil.
a
It's like,
clear-
You left it very confused. Like a kid's gonna grow up later and be like, was good? Like was Buzz Lightyear the old version correct? You know what I mean? Like you're gonna create like confusion later on. Like they do it. You know when you watch on YouTube, it's like what was it, like Harry was actually the bad guy.
Oh yeah,
You know when you watch those kinds of like
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then they tell
breakdowns.
from
Yeah,
breakdowns
yeah.
of different perspectives, you can't really do that with anime because like they don't allow for that. They're like, no, this if you think that there's good in this bad guy, then we'll redeem him. You know, which is probably why I like. 'Cause it's more like
Yeah, I get it what you're trying to say, but again, also the world is gray, right?
the facts. Yeah,
That's
okay,
also
true.
maybe a lesson.
Yeah, okay, yeah, true. Maybe that's why China's back on the rise, though. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think? You think it's worth watching, or?
I think it's worth watching, but I think I would have liked it better at home on Disney Plus.
True. Okay.
So wait for Disney Plus.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Do we have to pay for the thing? I don't know. Like, there was nothing that was like. Maybe those Top Gun style scenes were pretty cool.
Yeah, but there was not. There's so much you're limited to with animation because time constraints and stuff.
True. Yeah.
That I wanted to see more of the space stuff. There was a lot of cool things, but they weren't that long.
True. Him traveling through space. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's our time count? Just so I have a better idea of if I'm going to cut it.
49 minutes.
49? All right,
50
cool.
minutes, yeah.
50 minutes. All right. Okay, I'll make this little topic quick. I believe it was last week we were talking about me using a Windows. Like, it had been years since I used a Windows.
Maybe,
And
yeah.
then remember I was like, oh, like, and you're like, oh, they introduced like gesture features and like whatever. Like, maybe it's better now. So I recently got a Windows laptop for use like professionally, and I was like, man, this thing is trash. I had to like ask for.
So I want to do some, like, what you were saying, like, it's like a new Windows. It doesn't look like mine, right?
No, not at all.
So maybe it's like the Windows 10, but the Windows.
Like, I was like,
My issue, my thinking is, I think it's what they did with Windows 8, if I remember, which was it was not designed for desktop use. It was designed for like tablet use.
It came with a pen. Yeah, maybe you're right. Because
Not like tablet. I'm talking about like an iPad use.
No, but I think you can write on the screen on this one. I just didn't try it.
It's See, it's probably that's probably a mixture of the two. Maybe is it touchscreen too though?
No, I just got frustrated. Like, I used it like a laptop, and I was like, okay, this is killing me. Like, it's killing my time. Like, I'm way more productive on a Mac because like the gesture feature that they had, yes, it's there, but it's like a very rudimentary. It's like,
But is it customizable? Maybe is it just like how it's just with default, not default, it's like limited default settings, but you could change it.
Yes.
But then again, that's like there's a level of
sophistication
that not necessarily a user would have.
For sure. So the first time I trusted you and I bought a Mac right after university. And we opened it and I was like, this thing is amazing. What? So it had been, that was like 2012. So it's been 10 years I've been using a Mac as my main computer. And then I used it a bit, like I said, like 4 years ago, just not like tangentially, not like heavily. But then when I took this out of the box, because it was a new computer, and then I tried to like use it right away, like out of the box, gave me a headache. So I was like, look at those two perspectives, when you first open a Mac, you're like, no, it's this simple. Wow, it has all these features. Oh my god, this is amazing, But then you do it the opposite end, like Windows, and you're just like frustrated. Like even the
Oh yeah, no, all the time. So whenever there's an update on this computer, and it's like going through all this feature, I just skip.
why am I doing this?
It's so complicated. I don't know. I don't think it's not about being too complicated. It's just the design. I feel like even the design things give you a headache. It's this doesn't look good.
So for example, like downloading something, I guess it got easier because there's a bit of an app store now. But like installing a new, do you remember before like Windows, you can like you were just saying, like C drive, like find the drive, whatever, like install it into this drive, right? It's annoying. With a Mac, you just drag and drop. It's like drag into applications, and I was like, no way, this is not gonna work. There's no way, and it works. So it's like,
but this is the thing, right? I feel like this Mac is Steve Jobs. Like
for sure.
It's the little things that influenced him to have this design at the end, right?
Yeah, make it simple. Like,
Yeah, it's make it simple, first of all. But like where this idea came from, like him seeing like a calf
oh yeah,
right
yeah,
away
yeah.
when it was born standing up. So
Yeah.
that means it's like when you open your laptop, it should be already ready for you
Yes.
to use it. You don't have to do anything else.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. And we've become used to that
Yeah,
luxury
sure.
now. And we just
can't go back.
can't go back
No.
unless you're playing video games like me.
Yeah, but you
But
only
that's
use
all.
it for one purpose, right?
I don't, yeah.
It's not like you're trying to do so many things. Like,
No, I'm not, yeah.
like as a somebody who works in social media, so to use this laptop professionally, it's like if I like okay, so Windows no Macs already start with not Final Cut Pro, iMovie built in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some sort of device for me to edit. In a Windows, none of that, right? And then once you edit the video, how do you send it to your phone? There's no AirDrop.
They have OneDrive,
Okay,
but it's not AirDrop.
yeah, but will it compress the
Well,
file?
OneDrive is just like, I don't know. I don't think so. But OneDrive is just like
a shared folder.
like a Google Drive
Yeah.
thing or something.
But even when you're doing that, because like my fear is compression. So will it compress when sending over?
That I cannot clearly say
so,
that.
So when if you're
'Cause
listening,
I don't know how this system works. So
Right. So if you're listening, you're like, what is compression? When you upload something to, like Facebook or like
Instagram,
whatever,
even
Instagram, yeah, or like even the OneDrive that you're suggesting, it recodes it onto, the whatever it is you're doing and like makes it smaller, so it's easily shareable.
it's decompressing it
Like yeah,
or compressing it.
it's
Sorry, not
compressing it, yeah,
decompressing. Compressing it, the file.
So that's what I meant about compression when I was saying it. It's like it makes it smaller so that it can send, right? But because the Mac uses Bluetooth, it's sending the full file like unedited through your phone.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know I can trust this, but can I trust, like, you know? That's why when you text somebody like a picture or video, it always comes out grainier, and you're like, oh, why is that
Yeah.
the case? Yeah,
That's being
compressed.
compressed.
Yeah, don't die. Yeah, so do not buy a Windows. I don't know why anyone would buy Windows. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that.
Well, all right, so another segue. Even the monkeys liked the iPhone. You showed me this TikTok video just now about they were like filming
Yeah, they were
the
rolling,
baby.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if you haven't seen it, it's like a group of monkeys.
Well, I don't know if it
and-
was an iPhone. Was it an iPhone?
I'm pretty sure it was an iPhone.
But it was just a device. I didn't connect it to
Oh.
any device.
No, it looked like there was like the circle in the center.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so
But I don't know if other people have the similar design.
oh, you think Samsung like copied the circle in the center?
They
or
always
something?
do, right?
Right, true. Okay, fine. We'll just delete that because we don't know for sure. It seemed like an iPhone because it looked like the interface. That's why I was like, oh, cool.
Sure.
So then that's not really a great segue, but the idea is that they were filming this baby monkey, and then the monkey that was next to the person, the human that was filming, was like curious, and it got me thinking like we are so connected. It's weird. Like we have the same tendencies as animals,
Oh yeah.
even like on a maybe not to like the intelligence level. Because the only thing that separates us from them is our level of prefrontal cortex. Like literally, it's just that one part of your brain, right? Like if you look at science, that's the primary aspect of your brain. That's the primary region of your brain that allows for logical problem solving. So like if you can imagine a future scenario and come up with a solution for it, that's your prefrontal cortex. So animals might not have that, but they have the lower instinctual sides,
Yeah, which we still have.
which we still have too.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you say that they're not the same as us? And that's weird to me. Like when you see that human gesture of like the monkey looking through the phone screen at his monkey, being like, what's going on? Like, how is this being filmed right now?
Yeah.
You know? And then the other monkey which didn't see the screen, she's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know? Or like even Athena, like when I'm filming her, she doesn't like being filmed. She knows that like, what is this phone? She'll like look away. Or some dogs love it. Sometimes
Right.
if you put the phone in their face, they know that something's happening and they like smile for you. So it's like, how are we not all? It's scientifically it's called pan. Ooh, give me a second.
Mhm.
I have it. I have it on my IG because I just posted about this. It's like pans, something about consciousness. Give me a second. Yeah, here it is. It's called panpsychism.
Okay.
And
Oh, yeah.
what that means is that they believe that the entire universe is conscious. So,
Okay.
like when we think that consciousness is a creation of for only humans to have, you know, it's actually permeates everything, and that what consciousness is like your active awareness. So how can you say like a dog doesn't have that
Right.
active awareness?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like they even find now that plants communicate through like signals. If like a predator is eating a plant, like, you know, a mile down, it'll send signals towards all the other plants being like, hey, make yourselves taste bad because I'm being eaten right now. So how do you call that not conscious? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the. It comes hard. It's hard to say when we're connecting stories to us in a way.
Or anthropomorphizing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's not like us. You know? Oh, did you build a rocket ship? No, you didn't. So obviously you're not conscious.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's like, what do you determine as your level of consciousness? Because everything is conscious.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like now, I think that you'd have to define. I mean, not define consciousness, but categorize
levels of consciousness.
levels of consciousness.
No, I think. All right, I see what you're saying. I think it's actually more of levels of problem solving. Because everything's conscious.
Okay.
Like consciousness isn't problem solving is independent from consciousness.
Well, it doesn't. So conscious. It comes also the word consciousness. Then how you're defining it. So if you're defining it with problem solving,
it just no right for sure. That's what people think consciousness is. But literally, consciousness is just active awareness. Are you aware of the world happening around you? Then you are conscious to something. But like when scientists talk about how, oh, it can't be conscious because it didn't build a rocket ship, right? It's like, no, it is conscious. It's just not problem solving to the level of humans because you don't have the same prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then they believe that consciousness is built around the prefrontal cortex. Maybe it's not. Maybe consciousness is just a natural part of everything.
Yeah. So it's kind of like bringing
But that's
back.
what panpsychism is.
Right, and I think that sounds a lot like an avatar, where they can connect to everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You mean
Like, do we all have?
you don't mean connect in the sense of like jumping into an avatar.
No.
You mean like the you
Like
can
we're all from
feel
the
nature.
same essence.
Yeah. No, but that's what panpsychism is, right? And there was somebody, I haven't had the time to cut up that interview yet, but he was on Joe Rogan. And when I heard him saying these things, I was like, I totally agree with you because I see it too. Because he saw it too. He was like, he was on a search and he realized, like, wait, there are things that are awake. You know, like, you know, before they used to do experiments on dogs, I think, who was the guy who invented electricity? He had a key.
He had a key.
Remember, he had like a key and then a kite.
Oh, but like Benjamin Frank, not Benjamin Franklin.
Was it? All right. Well,
The kite thing on a boat. Is that
was
what
it Tesla? Nikola Tesla, maybe? I can't remember. One of those scientists, what they were doing to prove that animals were not conscious is they would like skin them alive.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, see, there's no consciousness there. But like,
Yeah.
like that seems so archaic now, you know? And it's like, just because they can't rationalize what's happening.
But that was
to
our
them,
level of consciousness at that time.
True. Or no, problem solving.
Or problem solving.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then with more education, you learn more and more.
And more time and
yeah,
evolution and books.
I think, but what I think it is like science is based off of you versus me, right? Whereas like secularism, like not secularism, like Native American stuff, like that connection with the whole world, that's more based off of like I am a part of everything. Like high level astrophysicists, they see that too. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's like, we're made up of the same stardust as everything, right? But I think because that's like a science, that's like you're talking about space now.
Yeah.
You know, but I think at a lower level of science, like if you're just talking about like physics or electricity, you're not thinking that we're all made of the same particles.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, but it makes so like even in that is like everyone's at different levels of problem solving conscious like for a native Indian who's living in the wild, he has to deal with like he's in the nature.
Yeah, so he can see
how everything is connected.
Yeah, and then when he kills the buffalo,
while the other person is growing up in a city where everything is
separate. Yeah, and that actually goes back to religion because it's like that level of separation is also in Christianity because it's the only religion, the Abrahamic ones, that say that you have dominion, humans have dominion over Earth. Everything that's on Earth was created for humans.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if that's your fundamental belief system, why would you think that, a dog is like you or a plant is like you or, et cetera is like you?
Sure, yeah. But again, this...
Our level of problem solving at the time.
But also, like, that going back to the beginning, it's like, that's what God said, though.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But also going back to the beginning, it's like, that's why I'm saying
it's like we were giving everything up. Like, not giving everything up, it's like listening to higher authority.
Yeah. Because something greater than everything is telling us this. But it's really just a story. That's why I'm saying it's archaic. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, it's like
that's based on our experience, right? So everyone's at different levels.
It's not archaic to them because they believe that thing. Yeah. Okay, so last two things. Anything else about that, or do you want to say anything?
No.
All right. Last two things. The petition of, now I can bring back that number, is like 165 people who signed a petition within one day at SpaceX denouncing the actions of Elon Musk. I think you said 5 people got fired.
At least 5.
At least 5.
Another report said.
And then, what?
Another news report.
Yeah. And then also today I saw that Elon Musk is being sued for $250 billion because of...
no, it's not just Elon Musk. I think in that list they said was Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX.
Yeah. Because of racketeering related to Dogecoin. Yeah. And
no, racketeering. What is that?
That's why I have no idea. I gotta look that up.
I guess maybe that's the legal term
for
whatever they're suing them for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because another title is like calling it like a pyramid scheme or something like that.
Oh, really?
There's another article.
Oh, well, that's what cryptocurrency is. Pyramid scheme. But anyways,
but I don't think anything's gonna go with that.
Okay, for sure. All I wanted to highlight is that's kind of weird that this is all happening right now because, like, he's the richest person alive.
Kind of what happens when you're up there.
You know what I'm saying? And
once your name is
kind of odd, but also like.
But he's also really not liked with a lot of people. Too.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not following the status quo. Yeah. So it is kind of odd that it is happening right now, given him being the richest person. But also, I don't personally take these accusations or like these things lightly because it's like, okay, you actually felt so bad about something that you had to actually take action on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you really created a petition, so what's going on? You really sued him, so what's going on? Because those things are not like light things. It's not like, oh, I should make a petition today. It's like that must have been bubbling up for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like there's a lot of people not liking where Elon Musk is at, right?
Yeah.
In his political views or
exactly.
Whatever. And then I feel like a lot of the people that work for him
are liberal.
And
he said he's not voting liberal ever again. That recently came out.
Yeah, but he also like says a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
That doesn't.
No, but it's like maybe if you're in a position of power and authority, maybe your actions do matter, even though
it does.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's why like it's risky for him to do certain things. That's why he got the SEC stuff on him, right?
Right. Yeah.
Especially with the Tesla stock, right? When that happened, so he got. You can't just say things.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Because like you're in a position.
So he
of power,
doesn't really have freedom of speech.
Yeah. No. For sure.
For him.
And this also goes for like Joe Rogan too, and because Joe Rogan's like, I became popular by saying whatever I wanted, but now he's so popular. It's like when you say something so flippantly, some people take it the right way, some people won't take it the right way. You know?
Yeah, and he's still the same as who he was before, but now your role is.
But now your role's different.
It's different.
Like, and then even if you want to be normal, it's like you can't really go back. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. It's like, yeah, levels of hierarchy. It's like,
Yeah, like there's certain things you just have to stay silent about.
Yeah.
Like you just.
even though you want to, you're like, well,
But you're not a normal person
yeah,
anymore.
you're not a normal person. Yeah. Yeah.
You have what you say influences a lot of people,
Yes.
and then it affects a lot of people in your own company. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah. If like, hopefully.
that's why that's why you don't know a lot of CEOs.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Because if they actually said like personal opinion stuff, that's not going to work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
And these companies are at the top of their game right now. So like,
Yeah.
anything can shift if you do something.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah.
Which is the main reason I think a lot of them were doing that. It was just, I think it's more like those people petitioning probably were thinking that his actions affect the company's growth.
Maybe. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Maybe they're thinking about the long-term performance. Maybe it's like a vote of no confidence. You know what I mean? Yeah. You haven't seen that show with the girl Theranos? You don't watch that yet, right?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because they do that there. It's like a vote of no confidence. Because like like even though you had the idea in the beginning, it's like now we're looking at this as a company, not your idea, because so many people are affected by it.
But there's,
like it's different.
But then it's also different if it's like it's a private company compared to a public company.
Yeah, but isn't Tesla a public company?
Tesla is public.
Yeah,
but SpaceX is not.
Right, but you're the livelihood of so many people. So like the difference between Joe Rogan and Elon Musk is that Joe Rogan doesn't employ thousands of people.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, who really cares? You know? You're just like speaking your mind. You're just very popular.
I think, and he kind of says it too, and I think he knows it too. He's saying like social media is causing problems. But you're
Elon?
on social media.
Who? Elon or?
Yeah, Elon.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. So it's
like he knows, but it's also like he's also human who's likes the social media
and
the
implications of it. Yeah.
The dopamine hits of social media.
Yeah,
so it's like,
totally. Yeah. That's the thing, right? It goes back to that line in The Dark Knight. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And we're kind of seeing it now. It's like, remember he had like the sex allegation thing, and then he had these two things now come out, and it's like, ooh, what's going on? You know? It's just odd times.
Yeah, it's like, where do you hear about Tim Cook stuff?
Because he's silent, bro. He's like, whatever. He knows the game. He's like, I'm just giving you more.
That's why like Apple's
fodder.
out there. Like
exactly.
Apple's at a very high level. They are the top company.
They are. This last week, remember we were talking about Apple versus Elon.
We mentioned the Steve Jobs, right? Yeah.
I'm like,
I have a lot more respect towards
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah.
Yeah, because
I like Elon. I would say like Elon is. I like Elon. I like his visions, and he just makes things fun.
Yeah, but it's like,
it's not. Ooh,
that's
like
weird now.
there's like
we didn't even know about the drama related to Steve Jobs until the movie came out.
Yeah,
remember like with his daughter and like all it's like the bankruptcy and all that. Like we watched.
Well, at least for the mainstream, like you'd have to really look into and read these things.
But like
it was there,
but there's a difference. Like Elon's putting it all on the stage.
Yeah,
Steve Jobs never did. He's like, let me just focus on building the best product, and I think that's why
again. That's why it's like they're both at different ages.
True.
They went through different experiences.
And I think that's why I liked Steve Jobs, because he was spiritual. He took spirituality and brought it into materialism, which is like the epitome of Taoism, right? You take both and then you combine the two. That's why you have the best Apple products, because he took the essence of spirituality. He's very Zen, right?
Yeah,
and that he transferred that into his life. He didn't own very many things.
No.
You know, because he was like, let me just focus on the work, because the work is more important than me. Whereas I feel like now we're starting to see a shift towards, it's not about the product, it's about the person. Like Elon Musk is an icon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Steve Jobs was an icon too, but as an innovator.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on Twitter all the time. Like, he wasn't talking about political things.
I mean, they stayed away from, like, as a company too, they stayed away from any social media.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Like, even like having a Twitter account
Oh, interesting.
was not there. Like, Tim Cook only, like, maybe in like the last 3 years
Uh-huh.
got the Twitter account. But that's
Interesting.
only doing what the company is.
Yeah.
You can output, right? So it's not
Yeah.
like, I don't think it's like, he's not putting personal stuff. Right.
Yeah, right. He's just like, hey, check out our new
Yeah.
product.
But it's like, only now they got.
Yeah, he's not like, look at me on vacation. Yeah, totally. Like, you don't see Tim Cook with all these rappers too. Like, Elon Musk is with, he hangs out with Joe Rogan. He hangs out with
But I
Kanye
feel like,
West.
yeah, Elon is still like very much still a kid. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, true. But it's fun. It's fun to watch. But
It's fun, yeah.
also, now we're starting to see like the hero turn the villain.
Like,
with all this.
like I don't want to say hero turned to villain because I don't. It's just like
It's kind of weird though.
no. I mean, like as an outside perspective, yes. You just like you don't want to change necessarily.
Who you are?
Yeah, you don't want to change who you are, but you're at a level that you need to be. You need to be different. Like you can't
Oh, I see what you're saying.
continue doing the same.
But isn't that an ego thing?
Yeah, but again, it's his. What's his
Even though I don't like the word
experience been
ego.
like?
Yeah, true. Because he was bullied as a kid. That was his story, right? Like if you watch that, his come up story,
Mhm.
there's pain there. Obviously, there's pain with like Steve Jobs too, but he buried his pain in work, right? Even when he had the cancer, right? He wasn't
Mhm.
like out about it. He was like, let me focus on the work.
Mhm.
Admirable, cool guy. Anything else before I say the last topic?
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. So last thing, because it's kind of related to crypto, but I saw that it's like at an 80% low or something right now.
What?
Like Bitcoin from when it started a year ago.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, people lost a lot of money, and it's like maybe we're looking at the bubble popping. You know what I mean? Like we were all like, "Oh, is crypto a bubble?" And now it's like maybe it is.
I feel like I'd probably get to like a stable level. That's.
like a stable low level.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think it's going to be like the billions.
I don't think it's
billions
gonna keep going back up. It's not the stock exchange, right? It's not.
Yeah. We talked about the
Yeah.
multiple ways that crypto is like
It's
lacking.
yeah.
I'm just more like I'm more interested to see where it'll go because it's kind of like if you know that it's gonna pop or it has popped, then it's like, well, how are people going to handle that? Because if they all start pulling out their money, it's gonna pop even more.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can watch people like argue now, like, no, it'll come back up. Oh, this is the best time to buy because it's low. But all those people own lots of crypto,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm confused. I'm like, it's like all right, for example, Nipsey Hussle was big into crypto. He's like, you can't let them own our systems. And then this guy 19 Keys, who like is also really into crypto, he's like, yeah, you can't let them enslave us with money, right? But like these are just people. Like Nipsey Hussle is a rapper. He's not like a Jay-Z who became an economist. You
Right.
know, so it's like a lot of people followed Nipsey in investing in a crypto because they were like, well, he said to do it, But it's like, should we trust the economic understanding of somebody that specializes in rap, not business? Because somebody who specializes in business, Warren Buffett, said not to invest in crypto. So who are you going to listen to here? The hype person or the old man with lots of money?
Well, you should be listening to the elder.
Right? That's why I think like the fad, right? All those people, like Mila Kunis and what's the name? Ashton Kutcher, they were really big into crypto.
Were they?
Yeah, they were huge into crypto. Huge. If you watch their Hot Ones episode, they were just talking about how important crypto is. And then the interviewer asked, like, from a basic perspective to Mila Kunis, like, how does crypto work? And she's trying to explain it. She's like, you know what? Like, there are people who understand this more than me, and they can give it. And I was like, that's kind of odd. Like, if you believe in it so much and you understand how it works, not defer the belief system.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah.
But then everyone's, Mila Kunis said, Ashton Kutcher said, all these celebrities are saying.
Yeah, we put these celebrities on pedestals, right? So.
Yeah, it's like when you ask an actor what they think about politically. How do you feel about, this? And they're like, I'm just an actor, bro. Why are you asking me this? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. We like follow people blindly, like icons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at us now. You lost 80% of your investment. Yeah. All right, that's all I got. So invest in crypto, everyone. It's a lot you can do there.
Yeah, you maybe buying the dip. So
the dip. Oh, yeah. Buy it low, and then when it raises high,
sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Play it like the stock.
Yeah. Warren Buffett said that if you're investing in something, you're gambling if you intend to sell a stock.
Yeah.
But if you intend to keep it, then you're an actual investor.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between a gambler and an investor.
Sure. Oh, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, why?
It's a gambling thing. Yeah. I think most people
are looking for the quick money.
Are like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time, go buy some Bitcoin. All right, take it easy, Bish.
No, Dogecoin. Help out.
Dogecoin, yeah. Help out Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Actually, all right, one last thing. You know what's really weird about crypto, too? Because you just named Dogecoin, I named Bitcoin, but they're both cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is similar to that? Like regular real world currency. That's like me saying like invest in money, and then you're like Canadian dollar, US dollar.
I feel like I think that makes sense, because I feel like that's what will happen. Like it'll be like if it's a crypto world.
Yeah.
It's more like these countries can use this higher value.
For sure. But my question is, so which one do you pick? Like if you're like, oh, invest in crypto. Okay, there's a myriad of them. Which do I pick?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just invest in crypto as a blanket statement. But then if that's the case, each individual cryptocurrency holds its own value. Why not just invest in real money? You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
There's already no value in crypto long term.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you invest in...
I think most people that are in it don't understand it.
Like logically, it makes no sense to me, And they're like, "Oh, you're biased."
That's all.
What are you talking about?
It's just marketing now, right? What are you saying, and how are you selling this coin?
Yes, yeah.
To convince them, but nobody understands what crypto is. Nobody understands what crypto is.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
Nobody understands what real crypto is.
Yeah.
They've fallen for the stories.
Yes, exactly. You can make a lot of money, so that's all they hear, right? But the essence of crypto, like we've been saying, is an alternate form of currency. Literally, that's all it is, right? It's just an alternate form of currency. So you really think the biggest bankers in the world are going to give up without a fight?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That makes no sense. Yeah. All right. I think for next week, we should look at what crypto.com is. Because I keep seeing it, but I never Google it.
It's good, but it's good marketing, though.
It is, yeah.
That's what, they're going to go to, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, the marketing is the story. Yeah.
Crypto.com arena. But how many people Googled it? They have a lot of, brand awareness, but little brand value. Or little company value.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's all. Last thing, which is actually social media, because you can have great reach. You can have 50 billion followers, right? But there's not even 50 billion people. But if you have a lot of followers, but you can also make no money off of it. It's just the perception. So are we living in this fictitious world now of social media influencers and crypto? Why are we going towards fake things like metaverse? It's kind of weird. Things that are not tangible, things that are digital, that are all perceived value with no inherent physical tangible value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Why are we moving towards that?
It's because it's the children that current kids are
Yeah.
like it's gonna be they're gonna get more into it because they grew up in the digital world.
Oh, so it's like,
Like, we grew up outside.
oh, so now we're watching the transitionary period.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's going to hold value in the future, which is what they say about crypto. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't
Yeah. All right. Until next time. Take it easy, Vish.
know. Peace.
Bye. All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.